Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Champions League Young Boys preview.
Yes.
Joining me, as always, is Joe Smith. How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you basking in the glory of your appearance at Old Trafford?
I'm still basking a little bit. Yeah, it was
Mate,
good, wasn't it?
Bit of the right game there, didn't you, for
How
the
good
season?
was that?
It was mint. Did you get in time, though?
No, I missed first 3 or 4 minutes.
Shocking. Didn't matter.
We were outside at like 1:45.
I know.
It
I was,
took fucking
I was
ages.
earlier than I've ever been for
Yeah.
a game, I think, in my life. And we're still getting late, but didn't matter. We saw United win. We saw
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo's second debut. We saw his goals. We saw a lot. And, of course, now it's time for the Champions League. Manchester United travelling to Switzerland for a game against Young Boys.
Can we get the whole Young Boys thing out of the way right off the bat?
What do you mean, get the whole Young Boys thing out?
Well, because people are going to make jokes. People, I can't Google Young Boys because in case I get
I
arrested.
find that
all this.
painfully unfunny.
Me too.
I remember Soccer AM doing it years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like Arsenal been looking at Young Boys on the internet, and I was like, that's not funny. It's not funny on a, not saying that YouTube's not as good as mainstream telly because it's better, but it's not good on a YouTube channel, let alone on Sky. It's like,
just cross
really?
out some
And then
of
they
these.
laboured the joke.
Some of these Young Boys jokes cross these out.
No, get rid of them.
Get that one.
Definitely get
What
rid of
about that one?
Get rid of it.
Okay,
just
I'll
to be
get
on
rid
the safe side.
Scratch that,
Yeah,
for
let's,
fuck's sake.
let's
I had a lot of Young Boys work, but I've had to remember that. But
So-
it is right. Here's what we will say. It is weird that they're called Young Boys, isn't it? Isn't that weird?
Like, there's loads of weird names though, isn't there?
All right, go on then.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, but at least they're not called Sheffield Young Girls. I don't fucking know what to say without getting arrested. Sheffield Wednesday, yeah, that's weird. but
Grasshoppers.
yeah, that's funny.
Do you know what I
isn't it?
mean? Like, what is that?
Yeah, at least Young Boys is sort of on the way to
Manchester
being
City. What
adults.
the hell's that about?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Do you know what I mean?
What
Liverpool.
Yeah, what is that?
Ew.
What is that? Liver? Ugh, that's like an organ. And pool, that's like a game you play with a stick.
So there's loads of names out there that are a
Orchid
bit, that are a
stick.
bit, a bit
that's
odd.
true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Port Vale.
Yeah. Or
Not even a place, is it?
West Ham.
Yeah. So the Young Boys thing, yes, whilst it's probably a little bit out there, there's loads that, there's loads of names of teams and clubs across the world that we can question, but we're not going to. Going into this game, you're right.
I like you just, that's it. We have no Young Boys jokes.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the end of that.
That's
the
the
real quiz.
that's the real quiz.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right, tell me about him then.
No, we're going to start. We're going to talk about. We'll get to the Young Boys later. We're going to start with talking about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
Why not? He's the talk of the town, so we may as well continue that because this is going to be
Oh, Chris.
his second Champions League Manchester United debut. If that's
Yeah.
a thing. Can we call that a thing? Why
I'm
not?
gonna call it a thing.
Do you want some Ronaldo stats,
Go
Joe?
on.
Because I've got them here.
Give me some
and
stacks.
They are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
He's played 180 games in the Champions League.
Already bonkers.
That's just ridiculous. How can you have played that many? And the weird thing is, there hasn't been 180 games in the Champions League. There's only been like 140.
160. And
He's played more.
He's played for
than
both
there
teams
has
in
been.
a lot of them.
Yeah, it's absolutely crackers.
Yeah.
He's been in. Let me, if I can read this screen.
can read, Jay, come
I
on.
can read. I've done this before. He's been in 6 finals.
Yeah, equal the record with Maldini.
Yeah, and do you know how many of them he's won?
5.
Yeah. Do you know which one he didn't win?
Rome.
Yeah.
For United.
Is that the only time as well that him and Messi have been against each other in a final?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever Real Madrid Barcelona in a Champions League
No,
final, was
I
it?
think you're right, my
Atletico
friend.
a couple of times.
So yeah, he's done all right. Do you know how many goals he's got?
Fucking hundreds, mate.
Yeah, basically 135.
That's bonk. And that's the most ever, isn't it? Who's next on the list?
Messi with a
With-
paltry, somewhat embarrassing 120.
And then who's next after that?
Then it's a massive drop off to Robert Lewandowski, who's on 73.
Which is still incredibly impressive, and he's on nearly double that.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely astonishing. 135 Champions League goals. It's his tournament, isn't it? If there's ever been, you own this, you own this. You could say maybe Messi owned La Liga, but Ronaldo certainly owned the Champions League.
It's like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But if you put Benzema and Ruud van Nistelrooy's Champions League goals together,
Two of
two of the greatest goal
Champions League
scorers in Champions League history, if you put their goals together, they're still 4 short of Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's just ridiculous. And he scored in, 4 finals he scored, or 4
Yeah.
goals. He scored 4 final goals. He's just astonishing. He is the Champions League person, isn't he? He's got the record, I think, and that's not in front of us here, but I'm pretty sure he's got the record for most goals in a Champions League season. I think he's got the most Champions League hat-tricks. He's won equal most Champions Leagues. He is the Champions League, isn't he? As far as the modern era is concerned, he is the physical embodiment of the Champions League.
And I've said this already, I'll say it again, I think he's got a good chance or a decent chance of winning it again with us. I think he's got a better chance of Champions League than he has of the Premier League. I think this team, our 11, although it's not faultless, it's capable of winning the Champions League.
Do you think United's unbeaten record away from home? I know that's only a league record. We have lost away from home in Europe, I think, in the last year.
Istanbul, wasn't it?
Istanbul, for example.
That's Leipzig. Didn't we lose?
It was draw, wasn't it?
Drew
Did we lose 3-2? Anyway, whatever it was, we went out.
I think we lost.
I think we did. A draw would have put us through. But we are good away from home. However, this year the away goals rule has been removed. Do you think that hinders United, or do you think it's it just kind of it doesn't really hurt, it doesn't really help anyone? Because I think United are so good away from home. I think we could score away against anyone, and maybe now that doesn't count for as much as it once did.
When you put it like that, you would think it's probably a hindrance. But I'm okay with the away goals rule getting abolished.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't like
abolished.
I wasn't one of those that was like, you can't change it. Well, why not? And also, I know we've had sort of times when it's gone in our favour and times have gone against us. I always think back to 99. In 99, obviously, against Juventus, we beat them anyway, didn't we?
Yeah.
At one point, we were going through on away goals,
yeah.
and we got the third and the winner. That's one that always sticks in memory. 2000 and...
Wasn't Porto? Didn't we lose that on away goals?
I think so. There's been ones where it's gone against us. Been ones where it's probably gone for us. I can't remember, but I'm sure there has been. I just think it's especially with there's certain things. I think COVID has sort of made it a little bit skew as well, because they don't know whether they're going to have full capacity at certain grounds. So you may say it's unfair if you've got a packed Old Trafford and you go away and they've only got like 5,000 fans or whatever. So I think that's been a bit of a game changer. And also the whole away goals thing. I don't know. It just seems a little bit unfair to me. I think
it always put a lot of an emphasis on the home team getting a clean sheet.
Yeah.
'Cause if you get a clean sheet as a home team, you score one goal away, they have to get two.
Yeah.
Like home clean sheets were so important. Now it'll be, just clean sheets in general will be important, but there won't be such an emphasis on like home clean sheet was basically like you've got a sort of 55% chance of going through it, even though the next leg is away because you get one, they need two.
It was ironic. Was it Real Madrid when Ronnie was playing against us, where we drew, didn't we, in the San Siro, in the Bernabeu? It was 1-1, and then it was 1-0 towards Old Trafford, and then he got an equaliser, and then obviously Ronnie got a second. I think it's like as soon as he gets that, you think they've got 2 away goals. Now we've got to score
another 2.
Yeah,
we've got to get 3
and we were
goals.
down at 10 men as well because Nani got that ridiculous red card. And it's just almost impossible. So I think it kind of makes sense, and we'll see. We won't know until we get it. But for a team that does score away from home, you would think that actually maybe this could be a little bit of a hindrance because our away form has been pretty decent. We'll move on. We've mentioned Cristiano Ronaldo. Should we just move on to Predicted 11s?
Yeah, go on.
Go on, because we can talk about whoever else is potentially going to play, but we don't really know. No. We don't know if Ollie's going to shuffle his pack, so let's get into our...
It's so quick after the last game as well, isn't it? I know that the Sunday was basically just a hangover mentally and physically of Saturday, and then next thing you know, the game's happening today.
I know.
It's ridiculous. So yeah, let's get into our starting.
We'll start with your Predicted 11. If you want to talk us through the team that you've picked to go to Switzerland and face Young Boys, then you can see if you've got better eyesight than I have.
As you can see there, we've got David De Gea, we've got Dallo on the right hand. I think it's going to... So before we get into it, as you can see, obviously, I think it's going to be a bit of rotation here because I think the season started... A lot of games, I know that not everyone went away with internationals, but a lot of United players do. So they've played anywhere between 1 and 3 extra games in that week. Some of them played 3, you know what I mean? So I think we're going to see a bit of rotation. I've gone De Gea, I've gone Dallo, obviously taking a little break for Wan-Bissaka. I've brought Lindelof back in with Maguire. Again, Varane, playing in a new league. He plays for France pretty much every game. He's played another 90 minutes. I'm not saying he couldn't play. It wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I think we might see Lindelof play. Because again, no offence to Young Boys, but this isn't the quarter-final or the semi-final of the Champions League. This is a team that we expect to be in any stadium anywhere in the world at any time. Maguire, as we know from last season, he just plays when he's fit. And Luke Shaw don't really have another option there. Tellez isn't fit again yet. This is where it gets a bit tricky. I've gone with Fred and Donny. I think it's almost undoubted that Fred will play. He didn't play against Newcastle, and he doesn't go many games without playing. I don't think Matic is capable of playing another game in 3 days.
No.
McTominay still isn't back, or by the sound of things isn't quite fit, even if he's available in the squad. So I think Fred's coming in regardless. And then from there, I've put Van der Beek in, give Pogba a bit of a rest again. You know, I know that it's only early in the season. He doesn't necessarily need a rest. Some of these players will need fitness more than they need a rest.
Yeah.
But we know with Paul Pogba, he does tend to get injuries. He does tend to get fatigued a little bit. So why not give him... Obviously, he's going to be on the bench. Yeah. Why not give him a bit of a rest here if we can do? Then I've gone Sancho, who, you know, I know he goes away for England, but doesn't get many minutes for England, so I think he should be fit. And I think, based on what we've seen from him so far as the games have gone on, I think he had his best game against Newcastle. And I know he got subbed off early, and I know he still hasn't got a goal or assist, and you're seeing all this shit on Twitter about, oh, if it was this, we don't mention it because it's Sancho. He had a good game against Newcastle.
I agree.
He looked much more dangerous. He's better on the ball. He was driving at defenders. He was actually sort of taking risks and going for it, whereas he didn't seem to do that against Wolves. He didn't seem to do that, was it, at Southampton, where he came on as well. He didn't seem to have that about him. But against Newcastle, he did a bit more. He looked better. I think he'll start. And for the same reason, almost, Jesse Lingard on the left. Give Paul Pogba the break, like I said. Get Jesse and give Mason a rest as well, because he's played, you know, pretty much every game for United, or every game for United this season. Jesse Lingard looks excellent in his little cameo the other night.
Good to see that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was good to see that. But that sort of little touch, and I think he's got something like 13 goals in his last 25 appearances or something in the Premier League, or something around there. So he's obviously in good goal scoring form. He's high in confidence. His movement was excellent again. They pass these balls in behind the defence, and you think, well, who's that to? And then Lingard just peels off, and he's just in the space in the corners, and his movement off the ball is excellent. And then Bruno just plays. And as I said before, Cristiano Ronaldo up front. He doesn't want to retire and give Messi any chance of breaking his Champions League record. He will play in every game he possibly can. And this is the sort of game where he can do a bit more walking about. He can maybe conserve a bit of energy. Assuming we win, obviously not overlooking Young Boys, because we did that against Istanbul last season, or some people did maybe, and we got turned over. But there's enough quality in that team to win this game quite comfortably, I think. And, you know, like I said, Ronaldo, you think, well, should he have a break? He's only played 90 minutes twice this season. Well, he wants 140, 150 Champions League goals. He wants no one to ever be able to touch his record. So I think if he's fit, he's going to play.
No, it makes sense what you said there, and I agree with the Ronaldo front. I think he's about records. Also, he'll want to play, I think, early doors. I think Ollie said that he asked him people were saying he asked Ronnie if he wanted to come off against Newcastle. He said no. He said, I'd given him the option. I think if he wanted to come off for Martial, and he said no, he wanted to play the full 90. So it's good to get the full 90 under his belt. Ollie's also been talking about Van der Beek and said that he was impressed with when he came on, and he said we'll see what's going to happen Tuesday.
I think he'll start.
I think you're right there. We'll get to my team in a minute. It's good to see as well we've got options. Yeah. And you look at it and you think, that front four you've picked there. Jesse Lingard, as you said, his goal scoring record. He's got a couple for England. Got one when he came on against Newcastle. Scored 9 for West Ham last season. Yeah. So he's in a rich vein of form. Bruno, don't need to talk about him. Sancho, I agree with you. Everything you said. I thought against Newcastle, that's what I want to see Jadon Sancho doing. Run at defenders. If you try and it don't come off, I don't mind. No. Just don't not try. Yeah. Don't play it safe all the time. No. Like, you brought in to get behind and to cause problems, and he did that. And he created some space as well for Ronaldo and with his runs, and I thought he had a very good game. And I think it was just nonsense I saw on Twitter, people slagging him off. I don't get that.
No, and that's the thing. Like, there was a time maybe 15 years ago where assists weren't valued at all, and stats were valued, obviously, but it was basically who won the Golden Boot. Okay, cool, it was Shearer, let's move on. Whereas now we're so obsessed with stats that you overlook a lot of good things that Sancho did in that game and put it down as another shit performance because it's no goal or assist, so he must have been shit. Well, he wasn't shit at all, and like you said, the space he makes, the movement, his quick passing and his tight passing in tight areas is exceptional. And And I think he was unlucky as well. You know that ball where Ronaldo makes the run to the near post and Bruno plays it to Sancho on the counter-attack against Newcastle, and he just played it behind him, let the defender get back. I think if that's a slightly better ball from Bruno, not that it was a terrible ball, I think he might have got a goal as well against Newcastle. So, yeah, it just annoys me that, he's not got a goal or assist. Who is he? Pepe? Like, fuck off.
Do you know what? You need to learn your lessons from Memphis as well, man, because Memphis came full of beans, full of confidence, and it just eroded away. Yeah. I'm not saying you have to blindly just, praise players when they don't play well. But get behind him. Yeah. Young lad, come over here. I know he's been in England before, but he's never played in the Premier League before. He's just starting out in the Premier League, finding his feet. He's 73 million quid on his head. There's a lot of expectations. We know he's a talent. Just give him a bit of patience. Get behind him, give him patience, and he'll come good. I remember the time when Andy Cole came from Newcastle. It took him 2-3 seasons to really get going for United, and he'd been banging him in. And by the end of it, he was one of the best strikers we've ever had. I think you just got to support these lads. So we'll go through my team. As you can see, I've gone with a pretty strong team.
Very strong, actually.
Yeah, very strong. Strong back five there. You got David De Gea. In fact, it is the strongest defence, obviously. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Raphael Varane, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, there's two reasons for that. One, I want these players to get used to playing with each other. I think you saw it against Newcastle. At times, it looks a little bit disjointed, especially down our right-hand side, Newcastle's left. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was caught out a couple of times. Harry Maguire was caught out as well. I know he's not necessarily down that side, but there was a time when Raphael Varane was exposed, wasn't it?
For the goal.
Yeah, it was 2 against 1. There was another time as well where I think Joe Linton got through. Just looks like they could do with getting used to each other. Also, you look at last season, the Istanbul game, we rested quite a lot of players. We think, Istanbul, who were bottom of the Turkish league, will deal with these no dramas, and we end up losing. So I just feel like get your first game won and get these players used to playing with each other. So David De Gea in goal, who's been in great form as well this season, by the way.
Back to his best almost, isn't it?
No, he has, absolutely. Back four, as I've just mentioned. Similar to yourself, the reasons you've given for Fred and Van der Beek, I completely agree with all of them. Ollie gave a little nod towards Van der Beek. Fred, I think he suits the Champions League as well, Fred.
Me too.
I know he got sent off against Paris Saint-Germain, but that was a bit of a one-off, really. I think in the Champions League, usually, he's sort of quite effective. He does what you need to do. He's full of energy, gets hold of the ball. So I think he'll play, especially considering Nemanja Matic ain't going to play 2 games in 3 days, or whatever it is. My front four, I've kept with Pogba because of one of the reasons I've given earlier about getting the game won. I think Pogba's been in fantastic form. Yeah. So I'm starting with him. Bruno Fernandes for similar reasons, and just on the right side, I've gone with Mason Greenwood. It was paper thin margins in this. I'm thinking, is Ollie going to go with Jadon Sancho for the reasons you've said? I agree with him, or is he going to stick with Mason? I just think for the Champions League first game, he might want to start Mason for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want Mason to feel like he's missing out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to handle Mason the right way this season. And I feel like, he might feel, I've been dropped rather than rested. Yeah. Whereas you play him in the Champions League. If you want to bring Sancho on, even at half-time, fair enough, do a bit of a swap. And then Cristiano Ronaldo, again, you've named it. He'll want to play. Yeah. He'll want to increase his goal tally. I think he'll say he'll be fit enough. I know he's 36 years old and he's just played on the Saturday. Can he play again on a Tuesday? It's doesn't make much of a difference. Slightly earlier kick-off because it's 5:45 rather than 7:45. Yeah. But I think he will, and I think he'll want to. And I think we have to get used to this with Ronaldo. That I'm not saying he's going to pick the team because I don't think he will, but I think if he tells Ollie he's fit and wants to play, Ollie's going to have some trouble telling him no.
And also because it's not just like let me pick someone. It's not like it's, let's say Dallo, for instance, saying I'm fit and I want to play. Yeah. It is our best striker saying he's fit and wants to play.
No Cavani as well.
Cavani, I was just going to say, no Cavani as well. So it's not as though we've got like a world-class option waiting there to play. Martial's not been at it for a year.
No Marcus as well. You've thrown in these players that, Cavani and Marcus were your second and third top scorer last season. Yeah. Taking both of them out. Get this game won. Yeah. We've been here before, and we've been here under Fergie. Remember like the Basel Benfica group and whatever it was, when it was like, oh, look at this group, we don't deal with this, and like, getting knocked out. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you can't take too much for granted, so get a strong team out there. Even the changes you've made, it's still a very strong team, and I've gone a little bit stronger there. Get involved in the comments, let us know your predicted 11, who you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to pick, or who you'd like to see play. You might not necessarily think he'll go that way, but you might think this is the team I'd like to see him pick, and whether myself or Joe have got it right. Should we talk about Young Boys?
Yes.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they're obviously a good team in a league that isn't that strong. I think they've won their 4th league title in a row.
They won the league by 30 points last season.
So they're might as well be Celtic tackle,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
them.
Yeah,
That's who they
you're
are.
just walking through this. I mean, no matter how well they do in that league, like the difficult they've got is the quality of opposition they're playing is nowhere near the level that they're going to face against Manchester United. They haven't got Bruno Fernandes's and Cristiano Ronaldo's and Mason Greenwood's in that league. So yes, they're dominating it, but I always think this. I think the Scottish. I know we've been making a joke, but might as well say it. But I think the Scottish clubs used to suffer from this a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably still doing the fact that they get into Europe and they're not used to playing that caliber of team at all.
No.
And it's difficult. Innit,
Even
when
in
you
the
make that step
heyday,
up.
Celtic struggled to get out of Champions League groups, didn't they? You know, back mid 2010s, or even when there was the Celtic Rangers rivalry before Rangers, when everything happened with Rangers. Even then, when there was more of a competition, they would still struggle in the Champions League because, like you said, the quality just isn't there around them. And yeah, it's just my worry, and like we mentioned it a couple of times, the Istanbul game is the worry for me. And hopefully we can have that in the memory and think we can't let this happen again. We have to be more aware. We have to be more disciplined defensively, because that goal from our corner, and then you got Demba Ba running through on goal from the halfway line with no one anywhere near him. Yeah. Stuff like that is completely unacceptable. We can't have something like that again. It can't be one where you go, oh, we overlooked him all. It just has to be a win. It has to be. Like, you have to start with a win. You can't be turned over. You can't have any of this bad luck or this injury or that happened or this player was caught out of position. You just have to win, no question.
You're right. We have played him before, of course. We played him in 2018, 2019, and we beat him fairly comfortably. I think 3-0 away. I think Pogba got a couple. At home, it was a little bit more difficult. We had to rely on Marouane Fellaini with a 90th minute winner. I remember Jose. I think that was a game Jose Mourinho went mad with the water bottles.
Threw the water bottles on the floor, yeah.
Do you remember? So, I mean, I know it's a few years on, but they're not, they're not just like you say, you can't just, oh, this is it, it's easy. They're not going to roll over. They've got a couple of players we know. Alexander Jankovic, who went from Southampton, and he's the one that got sent off after 2 minutes against us. So hopefully he can do the same again. They've got, well, I'll say players we've heard of. I've never heard of them, but a player of note is American Jordan Sibacheu. Forgive me, I'm getting that one wrong. He's a top scorer. He's got 3 goals in 5 games already.
Not bad. Good start.
I didn't read that far, I just knew it.
You knew it. American.
Yeah,
All right, then look at me.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name?
Jordan Sibacheu.
That's a different pronunciation in as many.
I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry, mate. I'm getting your name completely wrong.
They are relatively. It's not like they are relatively unknown, aren't they? As a team, yeah. It just it's one of those games, and I know I've just said this. It's just you just have to win.
Do you know what
There's
they're doing
two
right
ways
now
about it.
In those
Googling
young
United's
boys
players
in the WhatsApp group, arguing about who's having Ronnie's shirt.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as that final whistle was, you straight over there. I want Ronnie's shirt. Yeah. There's going to be all of them. I reckon there's going to be a bit of a kick-off in there, dressing room over who's got
it. And then after that, who's next? Do you think Pogba?
Yeah, if you had to swap shirts with United player, who would it be? Ronnie first. Then who would you go with?
Me personally, I won't mind Varane's.
Varane.
Yeah, just because I used to play centre back.
Yeah.
Varane's like one of the best centre backs ever.
Yeah.
And he's certainly in the conversation, maybe below the real top echelon of Ramos's and Maldini. I know Maldini played a lot of games at left back, but you look at just defenders.
Yeah.
Varane, that'd be amazing.
Mate.
And then Pogba, Bruno, Rashford. But Rashford's not going to play, is he? What would yours be?
Wan-Bissaka. Right? You're getting it for free. Look at the amount of letters. Cost effective.
Think how much that cost to print.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
got Pogba.
Idiot.
Oh, what, like 5? Oh, yeah, 5 letters.
Yeah, Fred. 4.
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka, loads.
Yeah, and you get a dash, which is extra.
Mate, getting it for free.
Did
Make the most of it.
Turn it on the side, you think? Or is it its own little font thing? Cost effective, Jesus Christ.
Times are hard. You'll have 3 kids one day, Joe. Right, give us your score predictions anyway.
I think we'll see maybe what we saw against Newcastle. A tricky, cagey sort of opening start, and then I think we'll wear them down. I think our quality will...
Yeah, MO this season, hasn't it? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
but
and I don't mind
Leeds
that.
and Wolves as well.
I don't necessarily mind that. I think it is a show of quality. Obviously, it's nice to be 3-0 up after 16 minutes, but I think the fact that we've got that, and not to be too cheesy, sentimental, but that kind of, not never give up, because there's no chance of giving up at 1-1, but that kind of like, we're not getting worried, we will win this game. It might take till 75, 80, 85 minutes, but there's no stress, I remember under Van Gaal and Jose, not to take everything back there every 2 seconds, but certainly under Van Gaal, when it was like 1-1 after 80 minutes, the feeling wasn't, don't worry, we'll win. It's, they're going to get a fucking counter-attack goal here. We're going to lose this game.
Yeah.
And was it, I remember under Josie, remember when Van Aanholt scored for Palace just after Dan James had scored? Whatever, that was obviously under Ole, but there's a Van Aanholt goal where you just thought, fuck me. And I think even under Ole at the start, there was a bit of that. But as things have gone on, as that away record last season has just gone on and on and on, and there's so many games where we're behind, this team now in the last 12 months, I think, has really added that element of it doesn't matter what happens in the first 70 because we're still going to keep our composure and we're going to win this game.
Do you know what as well? It's sort of like the nature of the beast because you saw the Newcastle game. They set up with 5 at the back, didn't they?
Yeah.
Very tight, and that's what teams going to know. And eventually, you run out of steam.
Yeah.
Players, you know what I mean, get caught out of position, whatever. The quality just outs. So it will take a little bit longer. And also, you'll have that patience. United have got that patience where you don't panic.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
But losing that panic was a big thing.
Yeah.
And the last 12 months have been amazing for that. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0, I think.
2-0, solid scoreline. I'll go for a repeat of the 2018-19 season, 3-0. When we got a solid win away from home. Let us know in the comments whether you agree with Joe or myself or neither of us, and you think it's going to be 7-0, or your man Jankovic, whatever his name is, going to get sent off again, and we're going to have another 9-0 drubbing. Don't forget as well to check out the Paddock merch. We've got loads of new merchandise up on the channel, including paddockmerch.com. You got Bruno there's a little lad watching Ronaldo. We've got all the other t-shirts as well. You got Donny van der Beek, Mason Greenwood, Fernandez, loads. Go and have a look at that. If you're not doing as well, hit that subscribe button. We're over 600,000 subs. We appreciate that. We want to get to 700,000 by the end of the season.
I like that.
I want the combo of United win the Champions League and we get 700,000 in the same week next year. Yeah, I think that's doable on both fronts.
It's doable.
Go and check Joe Smith out. Joe Smith 93 on all your socials. You know where to find me, Jay Motti. This has been the Young Boys preview. Thanks for watching.